Hello, this is Perno Bricks and welcome back for the second video. If you're back again after the first one, fair play to you. I never expected anyone to come back again. So this now, what I'm showing you is just a brick wall. But I'm going to be showing you my minifigures for series 1 to 10. And this is behind the tower. So let's go on around to the front and go through each series, starting from 1 obviously, go through each minifigure. I'll pull out my favourite one and we'll go all the way to 10. If you make it to the end of this video, you deserve credit yourself. Anyway, let's get started. So, all of the minifigures are in order as they would appear on their leaflets. So here we have Series 1, the Tribal Hunter. Next one up is the Cheerleader, and as you can see, I'll just take her off. Every single one of them, yeah, there are used bricks, and you'll see why later on. Each one of them has their own sticker behind them. So then we move on to the Caveman, and then on to the Circus Clown, and then we move on to Zombie again. As I said, they are named behind each one. And now we have the Skater from series 1. Some of them are not as clean as they were before. I had them all cleaned up, and then we got ill. So it's been a while since we got back to them. So we are back to the robot. The Demolition Dummy, he is wearing the magician's hats because the magician can't hold it, and I wanted to display his hairpiece. And then we move on to the Super Wrestler. Look at him, angry. And these, considering they came out in 2010, are quite detailed. And then we have the Nurse with her 2x2 tile, not in the best condition, and a syringe. And then we move on to the Ninja. Gone a bit close on some of these. On to the Spaceman. He does not want to stay still, and his gun comes out quite a bit. Big weapon piece there with the lightsaber tube. And then we move on to the Forest Man. A little throwback to the Forest Men sets. Then we've got the Deep Sea Diver. Comes with his flippers and oxygen tank. And then the last one of this series is the Cowboy. Not looking too impressed. Well, he comes with one gun. Series came out in 2010. My favourite one from this series has to be this guy, the Forest Man. It's a throwback to the Forest Men sets. He comes with his bow and arrow and his quiver, and then also a feather on his hat. Some of the older sets with these little feather / plumes are quite rare now. I had to find a black one for an old set before, and it was listed on Bricklink for 30-40 quid. It's ridiculous just for this. Absolutely ridiculous. And you know, obviously those colours are just rare now. So favourite one is series 1. Now we move on to series 2. So we have Maraca Man. Pretty sure that's well, he's got a spare Maraca behind. Most of these minifigures that came out were quite minimalistic. They didn't have too much going on at the time. Now we've got a Spartan Warrior, Ringmaster, obviously loving his job, and a Witch, kind of a spooky character right there. And next to the vampire, quite simply labelled as vampire. We move on to the, I can't remember all their names, traffic cop, right there. Then we have the explorer, followed by, oh, I'm getting all these names mixed up now, lifeguard, and we got the mime. It came with 2 extra faces. I don't think I've ever swapped them over. We have a weightlifter who's come with his set of weights. We have the pop star with 2 microphones. There's always a spare in these sets. We have the skier next up. We have, next is the disco dude. And karate master, sorry, not champion. And then we have the surfer with his ripped abs. And then the pharaoh, the kind of LEGO's intake of an Egyptian pharaoh. His favourite one is here too, the mime. Purely for the fact that it just comes with these extra faces. And you can swap them over. There it is, next face. I might leave that, might put him back on there, so that's the favourite one from Series 2. Put him back. Now we move on to Series 3. So we start with the fisherman. He comes with his fishing rod and a fish. He's just cool. And then we go on to the pilot with his goggles. And then we have a tribal chief. Sadly, he is slightly bending over because his headdress, his headpiece, is protruding a bit with the wall. So it's kind of in a little bit of a bow position. Then we got the samurai warrior. And we're moving on to the snowboarder next. This one is the space villain. Moving on again. Then we have the sumo wrestler with a sumo trophy. I don't see very often. And then we have a mummy character. Then we've got a skateboard touching his head here. Let's try and get that up out of the way. And then we have a forest elf, just purely named elf. And then we move on to the tennis player, race driver with helmet and hairpiece. Gorilla suit guy, that's fantastic. I think this is the first one they released in the CMFs as a suited character. Obviously, anyone that knows them now will know that they've gone quite nuts of them now. And then we have the space alien, just there. We move on to the hula dancer. Then on to the rapper. Can't seem to focus on his face. And then the baseball player. My favourite one of Series 3 would have to be this forest elf. Or just elf. Comes with a massive bow and arrow. No quiver, but a shield. Look at the shine on that shield. Amazing print detail on his chest and trousers, and all round just generally a great minifigure. And it reminds me a little bit of the elves from the Lord of the Rings sets. I think it was just their generic take on it, so I think that's my favourite one from Series 3. And we move on to Series 4. So we start off with the gnome, or lawn gnome as it's best known. Comes with his rod and a line. We have then the kimono girl. Beautiful printed pieces on that. Comes with her fan. We then go into the musketeer. And moving on to the rocker. Some great printed details on a lot of these minifigures. Now we're on to the Surfer Girl. And then one of the popular ones from the set is the Viking, followed by simply named the Monster. It's like Frankenstein's monster, but the Monster. We got a hockey player whose face has been blocked by the stick. Here we are, still either way, still angry. And we have a street skater whose skateboard is kind of covering his happy face. We have a sailor, fresh back from the sea. We have a named soccer player, but for us it's football player. We're English, football, not soccer. Then we go into werewolf with a bone. Oh, and that football player with a trophy. Us English don't know how to win one of them. And then we're into the hazmat guy. Great pieces on this one. That's obviously this little black bit is meant to be plugged into the back of him, but it will not go in and stand up against a wall. To the artist, great pieces. This little beard, great print detail on there. And then we have the happy ice skater. Their skates are there, they just like blue tack to the back so they don't disappear. And then we have the crazy scientist with really dodgy hairpiece. It's like a rubber piece, but it will not stay on. Again, I think I need some more blue tack to keep that still. And he comes with his little experiment. I think my favourite one of Series 4 is the hazmat guy. So he comes with his suit and his little sprayer plugged into the back. And there's obviously this mask is protecting him. It's great detail and the colour is just so bright. I'm not sure he has another face. Let's have a look. No, only one unhappy face. Either way, great detail. So that's my favourite one from Series 4. So now we are moving on to Series 5. So we're nearly halfway through. So the first one is the Graduate. Comes with his cloak and a 2x2 tile piece of his diploma. Certificate of, can't see what that says, let's see what it says. I'll zoom in enough. No, I can't see it. Anyone else see it? Oh well, that's his certificate anyway. And then we move on to the Gladiator, followed by the Royal Guard. And then on to the Eskimo with another fishing rod with fish. And we have Cave Woman. Comes with her club that matches up, pairs up with the Caveman from the first series. If only they would meet. Then we have the Lizard Guy, or Lizard Man. Now, unfortunately, his tail is on backwards because he will not stand on the base plate with his tail the other way around. Now, in other minifigures, in other series, I have made arrangements in the wall to account this, but I just cannot, in the way that the bricks are situated, I just cannot do it with this tail. Then we go on to the Zookeeper with a little chimpanzee and banana. And we got then the Lumberjack. Moving on to the Small Clown with pie piece. And then we're moving on to Fitness Instructor with her little boombox. And then we move on on to Lego's take of a detective, old school detective, Sherlock Holmes. And then we have an evil dwarf, another little imitation of the Lord of the Rings figures there. And we move on to the boxer. Oh, it's not quite stood up straight. The Egyptian queen. And then the gangster, proper old school gangster who carries the instrument case with him, clearly holding a weapon. And then we move on to a snowboarder whose board is covering most of his face. On that angle, my favourite on this one is by far the lizard man, and I've changed him back again, so it's his tail's on the back, so you can see it's a glorious print bit on the front, and then obviously this head comes off, or headpiece comes off. Put that down, and then you can see his face, and then the tail, obviously like there. If that was on there, it just doesn't. As I said before, I've been able to remove these to allow space, but I just cannot get him to stand there with his tail in the wall. Bit sad really. Maybe I should, just thinking about it now, just put a 2x2 plate on, and he can stand at the front just a little bit up. That's an idea. I've not thought of that until now. I might just do that. Anyway, that's my favourite one from Series 5. So that's what I did. I've put in a 2x2 plate on top of the stand there. And now he can stand just a little bit taller than the rest with his tail behind him. Fantastic. Great idea. Move on to Series 6. So we now have a classic alien with a little gun and saber piece. We then have the Highland warrior, or battler, sorry, not warrior. Get his hair straight. We have Sleepy Head just here, and then we move on to Lady Liberty. Oh, great piece that one is. So many good details on there. And then we got the bandit, gangster style with the guns. We move on to then the flamenco dancer, the first of the clockwork robots, the second one obviously in the later series. We'll move on to the mythical Minotaur. Great moulded piece, that one. Just all one piece on his head, the horns, all together. Golden eyes, printed torso and legs. And we got the little leprechaun with his paw of gold. And then we've got a Roman soldier who's dropped his shield a little bit there. And then we move on to the surgeon. Classic surgeon with a mouth as mouth guard, mask, syringe, and we have an x-ray piece of some unlucky soul. And we move on to the skater girl on the skateboard, sorry, there it is. And then we have the intergalactic girl, just barely holding onto her helmet. Comes with a hairpiece too, massive gun again, saber piece. We then have a butcher with his nice chop and machete. We have a mechanic with his toolbox and a spanner. We move on to the last one in Series 6, Mr. Genie, who comes with his own lamp. I don't know how he got out, but someone must have rubbed it. Now this one is my favourite one from Series 6, Roman soldier. Comes with a great shield, printed detail on there. And there's his own spear. Fantastic. Nice shiny helmet. You got print detail on the side and the front of the legs. And then you can also see nice shiny armor on his body too. Fantastic minifigure. Now this one is one of the rarer and most expensive ones of Series 6. I should know, I had to pay quite a bit to get this one, because I didn't have this whole collection from the beginning. Now we move on to Series 7. So we have the swimming champion with her swimming cap and medal. We have the Aztec warrior. So much going on that one. And then we have the original Easter bunny piece. Not Easter bunny piece, Easter bunny guy. So some rabbits. It's a bunny suit guy, sorry. And then we move on to the bride with her own tiara and flowers. Great veil piece as well there. So all the way down from the back, her head all the way down. Then we have Ocean King. Yeah, it's plenty obvious who it looks like, but it's Ocean King. And we have a bagpiper. Great bagpipes there. It's a nice little piece, and with a tartan kilt. And then we move on to the Daredevil, again with hairpiece and helmet. Beautiful white cape. Again, that's clearly imitating someone. No names. And we go on to the Galactic Trooper, I think that's what it's called. Galaxy Patrol, sorry, wrong one. That one there, Galaxy Patrol. And then we have another tennis player, but he's called Tennis Ace. And then we have Jungle Boy with another chimpanzee piece. And obviously came with two swords. Then we have a hippie throwback minifigure. And then we have a computer programmer. Comes with his mug and laptop. And we move on to Viking Woman. Yeah, Viking Woman. Sorry, there she is. And then we go on to the Evil Knight. Look at those red eyes. And it comes with a armor piece as well. Black armor piece, a huge sword. And then we have Rocker Girl with complete awesome print detail on the trousers and the torso, and a huge hairpiece. And with a funky lightning guitar too. Then we have Grandma's Visitor. Little legs, print detail, hood, cape, little basket. It's the last one of Series 7. My favourite one of Series 7 would have to be the Aztec Warrior. Look at the detail on this headpiece. Massive golden spear, detailed shield. So much going on the legs, side print detail again, and the printed torso. Now these obviously have a painted face as well, so we can get this off with one hand. Pop. No, it's not gonna go. Oh, I've lost the sword. Oh, and I've lost the shield. All before the headpiece. Here we are, got that sorted. And a painted face. Now, these are not exactly imitated of the island theme, but it does remind me a little bit like it. And I loved that theme when it came out in the mid-90s. Long time ago now. So yeah, it's my favourite one of Series 7. Sorry, I was meant to say Islanders theme. So we move on to Series 8. We start off with the evil robot. Look at the print detail again there on the little torso and legs. Another saber gun. And then we move on to the Conquistador with his foil and great printed armor piece. And move on to then a Lederhosen guy with his pretzel. And again, printed detail on torso and legs. And then we move on to Cowgirl comes with her own lasso. Look at that, fantastic. And then we've got American football player. I'm not going to say what you want me to say. It's American football. And then we have a deep sea diver, or just diver. Comes with his little spear to go in the water with. And then we've got a downhill skier with the skis on the back, because obviously they don't fit very well on the stands. So we come to the businessman with his newspaper, 2x2 towel, and the briefcase, looking quite serious. And then we have the fairy with a nice little skirt and transparent wings, blue, and a nice pink transparent wand. And now we move on to Santa. Now, I don't think this is the first appearance of Santa. It might be, I'm not 100% sure. And now we move on to the vampire bat. And then DJ, quite simply named DJ. And then we have a red cheerleader, rival to the other cheerleader, M and A. And then we move on to the thespian. I thought I'd turn that head round. Clearly a Hamlet character from the Shakespearean period. Well, that's definitely a reference to anyway. And then we have the pirate captain, which is pretty pants compared to the original. Can't beat old Captain Redbeard. And then we have the alien villainess. Huge piece that is. Absolute beauty of a moulded headpiece. Crystallized alien head. Fantastic. So I think my favourite one of Series 8 would have to be the thespian. It's obviously modelled a little bit off of Shakespeare. It's amazing. It's a quality printed torso, and the legs go quite well as they join together with it. So it was a nice, all-round, beautiful minifigure. Oh, that's my favourite one of Series 8. Now we move on to Series 9. We're going quite well. So we start off with the waiter with his bottle of wine and tray. Then we move on to the Cyclops. Excuse the fact that he's covered up a little bit there. I'll show you why in the next level. And then we go to Hollywood Starlet. No guess as to who that one's modelling off. And then we have the Hero Knight. So his head, his helmet kind of has to stay closed because he kind of hits the next minifigure. What a beautiful printed detail on the armour and shield. And then we have Roman Emperor, again, there's an imitation somewhere. And we then move on to the policeman. Comes with a 1x2 badge and handcuffs. And then we have the original chicken suit guy. Yeah. Quite happy when I got that one. I got one quite early. And then we have this really upset roller derby girl. And it comes with the skates as well. Luckily they sat on the base. We then move on to the fortune teller. Comes with two 1x2 tiles, read in your future. Then we have an old classic judge with a headpiece. And move on to the alien Avenger with a cool weapon. And then the mermaid, second time the tail piece is used in these minifigures. Then we move on to the battle mech, which just quite cool little minifigure. Nice armored piece. And then Mr. Good and Evil, another cross reference of a mythical character there, filled with his potion jar. And then we have another elf. This is a forest maiden. Fantastic piece that one is. And then finally we have the plumber. My favourite figure of series 9 would have to be the forest maiden. It's just an absolutely quality minifigure. Nice shield piece, bow and arrow, long hair, obviously meant to symbolise an elf. In my opinion, I think they modded it off of Toriel from the Lord of the Rings again. Apologies if I've not pronounced that 100% correct, but by that time she was released. Obviously she's not in the original books, but was a character created for the films. So yeah, that is my favourite one of Series 9. On to Series 10, and we start off with the Librarian. She comes with her mug and book, and then this absolute beauty of a piece. I might have to just get this one off to show you. It's the reason why the Cyclops was covered up. And this is Medusa. There's no way I can work that tail into the wall. It's kind of annoying because it was done quite well with this tower right up until the end, and then this one came out. It's like, what am I supposed to do with this? So obviously we turn the tail around and she winds the Cyclops up. But he doesn't dare argue because he knows if he turns round, he's done for. That's the Cyclops, Medusa obviously. And then we move on to the Roman soldier with his obviously sword and cape. We then have a warrior woman next. And then on to the Tomahawk warrior. Skydiver, who comes with his own parachute on the back. We then have Bumblebee Girl with her pot of honey. It never come with anything in it. It's a bit weird. Nothing came in there. And then we have Grandpa with his mug ready for his hot drink, and another printed 2x2 tile, Old Times newspaper. You can actually read that one. And then we got the paintballer, which when this set came out, there was hundreds of these. You just got that one every time. No matter what one you were looking for, paintballer came up. And then we got a sea captain with the first time that the seagull piece has come about, or came about. So, Series 10, first time for the seagull. And then we have a sad clown. Great colouring though. Nice white suit. And then we have a revolution soldier. Revolutionary soldier, all the way back there. And then we have a baseball fielder with his mitt. And then we move on to a trendsetter hairpiece. I think that might have been the first time this got used, I'm not entirely sure. 1x2 tile and a little dog. And then we have the decorator with his roller and paint bucket. Clearly not looking after it there, the paint's going to go everywhere. And then the last one of Series 10 is the motorcycle mechanic. Well, not entirely the last one of Series 10. Some of you might obviously be aware that there is one missing. Mr. Gold. Now, when I started collecting these, I probably started on Series 11 properly. So I worked in retail and I seen Series 10. I seen the advertising for Mr. Gold and was quite intrigued. I thought, there's no way anyone's going to find them, so I never even bothered. And I had the ability and the chance to kind of check myself, and I never did, and that kind of kicking myself for it, because obviously only 5,000 ever made. With this whole complete tower now that I have here, I would have loved to have had Mr. Gold added to this collection. That would be quite incredible. And I think if I did, I think he would go front and center right about there. I'll make a nice little golden tower for him, sit above them all. But the likelihood of me getting that one now, the prices of inflation on that minifigure alone is ridiculous. So we're just gonna have to deal without him for now. So it was pointless making a space for him above, beyond, side by side, because realistically I'm not gonna get him. So quite sad. I'd love to be able to get him, maybe one day if I'm in a good position to get him. So that is all 160 minifigures from Series 1 to 10 over there. And I'll show you now the tower. So I don't know if you'd seen from the profiling or the colours that were going behind that I tried to match the colours to the actual packet that they came in. So obviously Series 1 yellow packet, Series 2 blue packet, so they're behind the series that they represent. So green, orange, light blue, white, red, black, grey and yellow. And this is on a standard 32 by 32, is that right? So obviously gets to the end and I don't have the extra row of 1x4s. So this is made up of 2x2s and 2x4s, and then 1x4s behind all the way along, as you can see. Now for each row it takes 4 2x2s, 2 there, 1 there, 1 there, and 2 at the other end, and then 62 2x4s. So each row then adds another 62 on each time. So as you can tell, that's quite a lot. So by the time you get to number 10, this is 662 yellow bricks, sorry. And then obviously 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36. But yes, it's solid walls all the way along. And as I can see from the back, as we've seen earlier at the start of this video, it's a full solid wall. Goes all the way across. Obviously, for that many bricks, I'm not too bothered about buying brand new. So there are some used yellow, and I'm glad it was yellow at the back, because any other colour, like a blue or red, might have been a bit more expensive. But luckily, not too bad for that one. The only thing that's not all the way through is the 1x4s. I kind of cheated a little bit. Now they only sit on the ends, this end and the other end. They don't go all the way through. Mainly because you don't see them. They just sit obviously on there, and then that's it. You don't need them all the way through. Whereas the wall needed to be, in my opinion, I wanted it solid so you could let it move. I like it like this. It was very heavy. I'm not sure, I've never weighed it. I'm gonna see if we can weigh it now with the kitchen scales and see what it comes up with. Nope, that was way too heavy for the kitchen scales, and it did not like it one bit. Plus I couldn't see it because it was so large. So as I said, it was on, these are on 32 by 32 base plates. It works out perfect. So you got 16 minifigures, 8 on each board. It goes obviously all the way back. And yeah, that's 1 to 10, all on there. So that's it, that's the minifigures, series 1 to 10. All on those brick built walls. That's me done. If you enjoyed that video, come by again and for the next lot. It'll be 11 to 20, the next tower. Just got to get them cleaned up. So yeah, hope you enjoyed. Like, subscribe, do whatever you gotta do. I'm gonna have some biscuits. See ya.